How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ace, and today we are checking out all three parts of Lorna Shore's Pain Remains. I released each part individually, and this is all three parts put together. I wanted to release them individually. I feel like some people would want to watch each part individually, and then some people would want to watch the whole thing from start to finish, so I went ahead and did both. I feel like that's probably the way to go for this. So let me know which style you like, individually or all together. Other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and enjoy the video. So this song is broken up into three parts: Dancing Like Flames, After All I've Done I'll Disappear, and In a Sea of Fire. And I think it's really interesting when you have concept albums and songs that are broken up like that. I think it's a really cool concept. And I'm definitely excited to check out the song in its entirety. From the Lorna Shore and Will Ramos reactions that I've done, this is the most requested one that I've gotten. So yeah, I'm excited to check this one out. So I say we go ahead and get started. And without further ado, Lorna Shore, Pain Remains 1, Dancing Like Flames. Here we go. I always like that build-up that they do for their songs. There's just something about it that you know something huge is gonna come. I like how I can hear the rain too. It's a really artistic shot. I like that. With all the purple contrasting this. I love the instrumentation. And that pain in his voice too. This is such an intense performance, but it's like really good. You know, like at the beginning you have that build up, and it's, you know, it's a slow gradual build up, but you can tell just based on how everything's coming in that it's going to be intense. And I love how melodic the guitar playing is throughout this. I mean, from the Lorna Shore performances I've gotten to check out, it typically is a very melodic style, which I do appreciate. I definitely like that. But there's just something about how they're played with the speed of the drums and the bass that just brings in that intensity that just reinforces that. That's so good. And then, of course, you have Will's vocal style where he has this emotional performance with all this intense vocal screaming and growling. Like it's really well done here. And honestly, I was so engrossed in the performance and the video that we were getting, I didn't even realize we were over 4 minutes in. I was like, wow, that went so fast. They did really pack in a lot into this. And with this video, like you don't even realize until a little over halfway in that he's not in like his living room. Cause like at first that's where I thought he was. I thought, you know, he was just like thinking back to, you know, a happier time or just in the past in general where he and his wife were together. I'm making assumptions that it's his wife because it looks like he's wearing a wedding ring, but you do see him in pain throughout this video, you know, back and forth between the past and the present, where they're walking together and they're happy. And it's really interesting if you just zero in on those specific moments where you have this intense music playing and they're sitting and walking at a park. Like that's just a really interesting contrast, but if you back it up and look at the whole picture, it makes a lot more sense. And then you realize that they're in a hospital room instead of, you know, in his living room, and you see her in a hospital bed, and then you realize what's actually happening. And then with the color contrast that you get where, you know, in the hospital room where it's very bleak and very dull colors, and then you bounce back to the past with them together and it's very colorful. It's such a great visual representation of the emotion in the song. The past portions are almost dreamlike, and there probably is a lot of color theory that goes into this video, but I'm gonna wait until the whole video is done before I cover that. But yeah, I mean, this is so good. Let's go ahead and get back to it. So here we go. Love the guitar solo. Okay, so she woke up. So I'm guessing he does get to say goodbye. Okay, it just cut off. So I'm guessing there is no break between the three parts. It feeds immediately into the next part. I don't know if the instrumentation is going to be any different, you know, coming from this, if it's going to be like in a different style, a different tempo, or anything like that. So I am looking forward to checking that part out as well. I was really starting to feel the scene where it looked like she was about to pass away as well. And I think she probably just passed away right at the end there. I really did feel the tears start to form up a little bit, but then the video just ended. I was like, oh, that kind of took me out a little bit. So in a way, I'm kind of regretting not doing all three of them in one video, but even still, it just gives me more of a reason to check out the next part. The instrumentation, the guitar solo is absolutely phenomenal. The instrumentation, the intensity that we got during this was incredible. You saw Will like drop to his knees, and you really feel that emotion, especially when they go back to the hospital scene. I really like how they're playing in a church. You have the window panes behind them and everything, and it really does create a great lighting effect as well. The lightning that we get throughout this, I think, is great. And going back to the whole color theory thing, and I'm specifically focusing on purple, which I'm kind of curious if the next two parts are also going to be purple or if they're going to be a different color followed by a different possible emotion. But looking at color theory for purple, you have melancholy and sadness, deep dark tones, which we got with the lightning. You saw it flash and like in the clouds and everything. You got a much like richer, darker color. You have deep dark tones that can feel somber, isolated, or reflective, often associated with grief. You also have the bright purple with the lightning itself. You have like that vibrant creativity. You also got to see that in the window pane itself. And then with the darker purples, you have serious introspection and deep emotional intensity. And you really feel that throughout this performance as the video progresses, as the song progresses. And with the lyrics and the title of the song, Dancing Like Flames, like it has this sense of life in it. And with The Pain Remains, like going through this, you can really feel that. So with the intro, captivate me, become my escape, I can't look away, you were my everything. The post-chorus, flicker like shadows dancing beyond the flame, you took me by surprise and then you disappeared in the blink of an eye. And the bridge, a wrinkle in time, that's what's left of my life. Before you go, show me what it's like to finally know the face behind the silhouette. But within the expanse, I finally see a world without you isn't meant for me. So you really get this like feeling that he loved her and like she's passing away and he can't go on without her. Like he really loved her. It really shows you how fast life goes and like how quick things can happen, and you have to cherish as much as possible while you can. Let's go ahead and get back to it. So here we go. Yep, it carried right into it. But it does sound a little different. Wow, they're playing in a blizzard. That's crazy. Ooh. Vocal range that he has is incredible. It's even more intense during this part than part one. Seeing him go through the different emotions in this video. Yeah, this part is just as good as part one. Like, instrumentally, I figured it was either gonna keep the same instrumental style or have a different sound, and it does have a different sound. It's just as intense, and it has the same level of intensity as part one, which I think is awesome. Unlike part one, part two just goes straight into it with no buildup or anything. It's just an explosion of intensity and emotion, which is just awesome. There was just the briefest of cuts, and it just goes right into it. Will's vocals, I feel like, have a little more of his goblin mode style in this part. So you hear a little more emotion compared to part one, and he was already showing plenty of emotion there. So he's kind of just a little above that, which is crazy. I love the guitar, the bass, and the drums throughout this whole piece as well. It's just as fantastic. With the visuals, part one we had the lightning storm, and part two we're in a blizzard, like a snowstorm, and it's even snowing in the church here. If I had to guess, like the lightning storm signified, you know, just a welling of emotions, and the blizzard, the snowstorm, it signifies his emotions have kind of gotten cold, possibly numb. He's just like kind of just not there, basically. He's just kind of floating through during this whole period of time. And part one, we saw sadness, and part two, we see anger and depression. So maybe we're exploring the 5 stages of grief, or at least part of them, during this entire song. And with the story, we see that she has passed away, she gets wheeled out, and he gets angry and flips a chair. And then we either see before or after a funeral. It's kind of ambiguous as to which. If y'all know, definitely let me know, because I'm kind of curious about that, unless they show later on. But we also, throughout this, we also have flashes of the past interwoven as well. It's the same level of color. The past still is bright and vibrant, and the present still has the dull colors as well. But yeah, I'm liking this. Let's go ahead and get back to it. So here we go. I love those drops. Very melodic, I like that. Ooh, okay. There's something really cool about seeing all the snow all over the drums and the guitar as well. Oh, he's about to kill himself. Oh, he's gonna slit his wrist. Oh. Oh, even we went up an octave. Wow. Okay. Key change and everything. Oh, even, okay, wow. And again, it just cuts off. And again, it cuts off as like the emotions are starting to well up and everything. You see him after he's already fallen on the ground and he's starting to lose consciousness from, what he just did. And, like you really, really feel that. And then it just cuts off, like going into the next part. But I do think it's really interesting how the song just kind of hit a lull after all that intensity. It dropped down, during that part. It just really allowed the scene to play out for that, and I think that was just really well done. I love how we had a key change just at the climax of that scene as well. Like it really kind of amped it up. It showed that this was a really intense scene as well, and I really love how they do the instrumentation throughout this part as well. Like you not only have the guitar solo, but just the drops that we have, like at times you really get that emotional weight from it as well. With color theory, for the blues that we were getting while the band's playing in the blizzard, like it kind of hints at solitude and sadness, like an emotional distance, which you really see that throughout the story that's progressing. You see him like sitting in the church at the funeral, going up to the casket, and you just don't really see any you almost don't really see any emotion on his face at all while he's doing that. You also have a sense of coldness. You feel detached. It represents like a lack of passion or human warmth, which you really get that from the blizzard. So I think that kind of plays into it as well. And then with the lyrics, the intro, I'll disappear. It's like the world I knew keeps passing, unlike the void I've become. And then going down to picking up pieces left from another life. This fleeting memory is everything you left behind. And then with the chorus, and after all that I've done, after all of my pain, after all that I've become, will I disappear? So kind of just wondering going forward in the future at some point, is it still going to hurt? Is it always going to hurt this much? Or is that going to kind of, I don't want to say go away necessarily, because I feel like, things like that never, they always stick with you. But I like maybe hurt a little bit less, as you go through life, you're able to heal a little bit. Are you able to come to the acceptance part of the 5 stages of grief? Let's go ahead and get back to it. So here we go. I like how this one continues from the last one with the violins playing. It just sets it up for something epic. So this isn't like how the second one started. This is more or less how the first one started, where it's a slow build-up. It's so intense though. And I mean, I get it. He just slit his wrist and cut his throat. I don't think we got to see the pictures in the second one. Okay. Those drums, though. And the chanting. Ooh. The choir is a nice touch. Okay, so he's not dead after all. Jeez. It's so good. Alright, so he's angry again. Wow. Something about the intro to this song, like it just the violins, it's much calmer, but it has such a massive weight to it. The strings start to play more and more. They bring in the rest of the orchestra and the choir. Like we hear some of the brass instruments come in. That choir, the chanting was just so good. And then the band explodes in with the energy and the emotion that we've gotten from the other two parts. You can feel the anger played during this with how the instrumentation's being played. Will brings in multiple vocal styles throughout this. Like he was starting to bring that out in the second part, but it's really on full display during this part. The phenomenal guitar solo that we got with the melodic playing, I really love that as well. I also like how the title card in A Sea of Fire is in orange. Like I was kind of wondering, you know, based on the title, if we were gonna get fire in this one, because the first part was Dancing Like Flames, so we didn't really get fire, but this one we really did. And the orange was kind of a hint as to that. And I love how the band is playing with the fire behind them and all around them. All the fire is just giving off all this anger and rage, which we kind of get to see on display as he's destroying the display of the funeral. And I like how each part had a different element featured and different colors displayed. It really goes into the whole color theory thing, I feel like, which I'll cover this color theory at the end. But I think it's just really clever visual storytelling. And with the visuals that we're getting, it turns out he's not dead and he didn't actually slit his throat. It was just some really clever editing. It was kind of a fake out almost. He did look like he wanted to though, and after he regained consciousness, he wrapped up his wrists. Then they showed the funeral. It's unclear which part happened first, but I'm guessing the funeral happened afterwards. And then we're still getting the scenes from the past interwoven, and the color contrast is still there, where it's dimmer in the present and much more vibrant in the past. And then after sitting through the funeral, he didn't show any emotion on his face at all. He was just kind of there. He goes over to the casket and he angrily destroys the display. But yeah, I'm really loving this. I think this is a phenomenal climax to the song, and I'm ready to check out the rest of it. So let's go ahead and get back to it. So here we go. So good. I like how you can hear the fire crackling in here too. He's gonna set the house on fire. God, that growl. That echo is awesome, though. I love the piano during that. So he really set the house on fire with him in it. Wow. They did a phenomenal job with this whole like concept, like all three of these parts. So good. I really love the instrumentation throughout the drop that we got while he was walking in with the gasoline can, tossing gasoline. It's just it hit so hard. And then the piano that was playing throughout was really great as well. It was so good having the slower moments of the song and being able to hear the piano, and then also hearing the crackling of the fire while Will was singing, and then you also get to hear it at the end again as the house is on fire. Just the instrumentation throughout this whole song, like all three parts, has been top notch. The vocal work is incredible as well. All of the styles that Will has been able to do during this are just so good. As he was going through the house with the gas can, like dousing everything in gasoline. He didn't really show any emotion on his face. And then once he sat down, it looked like he was thinking about it for a second, like he was really contemplating whether he should or shouldn't. And even when he got the lighter out, there was like I feel like a sense of hesitation, but ultimately he went through with it. It was the moment where we got to visually see her say, "I love you," and it was super quiet during that. It was such an emotional moment. Honestly, it almost got me. It really did. But, you know, he set the house on fire. He went up in flames. And I feel like this is a situation where she would have wanted him to keep going, but he obviously, there was no way he was going to be able to. And then with color theory, we have orange, but we also have lots of reds and yellows. And combining all three of those, when used incorrectly, in excess, or in highly saturated doses, they become a state of psychological distress. Red brings hostility and rage, terror and danger, punishment and failure. Orange brings a frantic, overwhelming feeling and emotionally disconnected. Yellow brings manic anxiety, a sense of impending doom, irritability, and hostility. And then you combine all three of these colors and it creates a sensory overload and emotional volatility, which we got to see throughout this video, not necessarily in his facial expressions, but you could really feel the emotion that he's going through with his actions. And then going through the lyrics of this, you really get that from verse 2. If this is all I am, then what's the point of pasting life? Everything that I made became a waste of time. Expressive, depressive, I'm caught up in a lie. And then jumping to the pre-chorus, it pretty much tells us what's gonna happen. I'll throw myself into the fire and burn away, ridding this flesh of burden, and pray I suffocate. And then the outro as well. This is my epilogue, my soliloquy. Take this broken melody straight to the grave. And then the three song titles, Dancing Like Flames, After All That I've Done, I'll Salt the Earth and Disappear in a Sea of Fire. And I thought that was really creative to put that there with the song titles. Seeing how he went through all three of these videos, he kind of did go through stages of grief, maybe not all of them because there wasn't really a bargaining one. And with the stages of grief, I feel like maybe we got denial, just how it kept flashing back and forth between the past and the present. We also got anger, we got depression. I don't think necessarily we got bargaining, but I feel like we did get acceptance with him like setting the fire and just kind of sitting there and accepting his fate at that point. So I feel like that was kind of acceptance. So in a way, I guess we do go through the stages of grief, at least for the most part. But yeah, I mean, this was a phenomenal performance. Like, these songs were great. The story has a massive emotional weight to it. I can definitely see where people were coming from, where if I didn't cry to Glenwood, then I'll definitely cry to Pain Remains. And I mean, just the emotional weight to really both of these songs are absolutely incredible. All three parts are absolutely amazing, and I would not mind checking out more from Lorna Shore. If y'all have any suggestions or anything I should know about, definitely drop those in the comments below. Would love to check those out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check the description for all the cool stuff like the socials, the link to the video, the buy me a coffee link for any priority requests. And if you made it to the end of the video, comment #PainRemains. I think that's it for this reaction. Check out the next one. Bye guys.